Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Comments from the Kitchen. Today we're going to talk about skin cancer. I know it's not a very popular topic, but it's important, so this is our subject for today. So the reason that I would like to get into this topic is because it's something everybody should know, especially if you're an RVer and you spend a lot of time outdoors like we all tend to do. And of course we're following 75 degrees, so lots of sun. The main reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because of my dad. He was diagnosed over the years with several melanomas. Melanomas are the bad one of the skin cancer. And each one that he was diagnosed with, they removed them, they cut them out, and typically they can get it all, and it's pretty safe. You just have to make sure that if he gets another one, you got to catch it early so you can cut it out and get it all. Well, as he got later in life, there was one on his scalp that they could not cut all of it out. What they do is they cut around it and they look to see if there's any roots. And if there's a root going this way, then they follow that root, cut that out, and as much as they can to get all of it. In his case, they couldn't get it all, and it did find its way. It did find its way to his brain, and they gave him 3 to 6 months to live. And as it were, it wasn't his only issue going on at the time, but he passed a month later. He passed a month later, whether it was the melanoma or he also had ALS. Either way, it was hard. But anyway, I want to let other people know what to watch for so they don't end up in the same position. I worked for 10 years in dermatology, and I can't even count the number of times I talked to my patients about the ABCs of melanoma. Excuse me, I gotta get a tissue. So that's our subject for today, and we're also going to talk about the other 2 main types of skin cancer. So here we go. I'm going to keep it simple, layman's terms. There are 3 main types of skin cancer that are very common. There are other types of skin cancer, but they're much more rare. And there's one that is dangerous, but like I said, it's very rare. The 3 main types are basal cell, and the name basal is the name of your particular skin cell type. This one, basal, is not spelled B-A-S-I-L like the herb, it's B-A-S-A-L. And there's squamous cell, and there's melanoma. And what we're going to talk about today is just the basics, and I want you to keep in mind that there are always exceptions. These are just the most common. If any of you have any spots, lesions that are concerning of any kind, of cancer, you should have them checked by your dermatologist. So the first one is a basal cell, and it is the most common, but it is also the easiest to get rid of. And once it's gone, typically that's the end of it. You do have a chance, once you've had one, you do have a chance of getting another though. And your dermatologist will keep a close eye on you, checking for others. So this one typically is kind of a pinkish color and can be similar to a mole, a pink mole. They kind of look like that, but the cancer cells are kind of mushy. So this one, even though it may look like a mole or just a bump, it will tend to bleed pretty easily, and it will grow and get bigger, but they grow very slowly. And because they're such a softer tissue, they frequently can have a sore in the middle of them that won't heal. The best part about this kind of skin cancer is it stays in the skin layers and does not tend to go deep, and it does not tend to go travel anywhere else in your body. As I said, once it's cut out, it's typically done. The more sun exposure that you've had over the years, especially sunburns, the higher your chances of getting a skin cancer will be. Of the skin cancers diagnosed every year, basal cell are roughly 80% of them, according to Cancer Treatment Center of America. And I'll put a link below so you can go to their website and do any kind of information searching or looking at pictures or anything like that if you would like. The next type is the squamous cell skin cancer. Now this one is a little more serious. It has a small chance of going deeper and spreading through your body, so it's a little more serious. And it tends to be more of a crusty red type spot. They are less common, but they are a little bit more dangerous. This one is also a slow growing skin cancer, but being that it's a little more dangerous, you want to pay attention. This skin cancer shows up in areas where you've had really high sun exposure, forehead, scalp, face, neck, like back of your neck. The squamous cell, if left untreated, can invade your fatty tissues and go deeper down to your bone and invade the bone, and that's why it makes it more dangerous. And of course, there's the melanoma. Melanomas can look like moles, so you have to be vigilant about checking your moles. It's less common than the other two types of skin cancers, but much more dangerous. It's on the far end of the spectrum from the other two. This one can and will go deeper and get into your lymph nodes, and it can spread throughout your body. The hard part about melanomas is because it looks like a mole, you have to know what to watch for and know what your normal moles look like. Melanomas are a lot of times that mole that doesn't look like all the others, like the ugly duckling. And as I said, working in dermatology, I can't even tell you how many times I've talked to patients about what to watch for, signs of melanoma, the ABCs of melanoma. But they typically use words that don't stick in your mind. And so I'm going to simplify and make it hopefully easier to remember. So the number one thing you're watching for is weird shaped moles. Check out the picture here. That'll give you an idea what I mean by weird shaped. The next thing we're going to look at are the edges. If something has wonky edges like that, that's what you're watching for. Just kind of scalloped, weird, all over the place. That's it. The next thing we watch for is the color. If it has really dark areas in it or black areas. Anything that has multiple colors with dark areas in it, like that one, that's a warning sign. Always pay attention. But again, there are rare occasions where there are melanomas that aren't dark. So we're just talking the normal in general. The other thing we're watching for is something that is big. Their rule of thumb is anything bigger than a pencil eraser. And of course, anything that is in that category that is growing and changing. Many people will take a picture of something that they're not sure of and check it later again and again to see if it's making changes. Now, because of my dad's history and of course working in dermatology, I've had my yearly skin checks, and also because of, psoriasis, that gets you in there too. But that's another story for another Comments from the Kitchen. So with that, I will let you guys go, and we will see you next time on Comments from the Kitchen. Bye everyone.